Afternoon everyone. So on the back of the new goals and assist dividends, I just wanted to do a follow-up video with a few proposed amendments to the existing proposal for Football Index, and I just want to share this with Football Index HQ and the wider FI community to get your thoughts on whether you think this is a good idea or a bad idea or something that might be worth considering. So I mean, first off, before we get into that, I'd like to, say I absolutely applaud Football Index's intentions behind this. Anything that shows that they're willing to increase dividend opportunities, I'm absolutely all for. But I think it's fair to say that the wider Football Index community have sort of received this latest dividend proposal with a certain degree of apathy, and I think part of that is around the confusion around the initial launch and something also about the 30-day limit, meaning that there isn't necessarily that much value there for existing long-term traders. I can definitely see some real benefits for if you're a new trader and you're just joining, then it gives you a bit of a opening cushion, if you will. So just to cut into what my proposals would be. First off, to change the dividend payout from 2p a goal and 0.5p per assist to 1p for the goal, 1p for an assist and 1p for a clean sheet. Now, this helps spread it around all the different positions so that you get a more balanced view for your portfolio, and it also actually gives goalkeepers something to go for the first time. The clean sheets for goalkeepers would be really interesting to open up a new goalkeeper market, and I think it would drive a lot of excitement. And just to show that this isn't necessarily impossible, this is the number of clean sheets I've recorded this season versus the number of goals this season. So there's actually less clean sheets than there were goals. So if you were slightly reducing that goal dividend, you should be able to offset that to bring in these clean sheets and slightly raise the assists. So secondly, looking at potentially expanding the leagues covered by this new dividend to include an additional 5 leagues. I've just proposed 5 random ones here of Portugal, Holland, Turkey, Russia and Greece. The reason why I've proposed these is we've already got a lot of players from these leagues, nearly 200 players from these leagues that are kind of there not really doing anything because there's no real reason to get on them because they have so few games of any appeal that their value is really suffering, and they just make up a lot of dead wood effectively. And by adding this in as an additional opportunity, it would drive some real interest in these players and give people a whole new thing to look at. And just to show here how many players that would mean, it would effectively mean about a 9% uplift in the players eligible, because the vast majority of the players on the index at the moment are in those top 5 leagues. Those 5 leagues that I've just pulled out there would add an additional 180 odd players. So it's not a huge increase, but it just gives a whole new dimension for people to start looking at. Lastly, to extend the 30-day dividend deadline to a 1-year deadline to allow some real value. Now, to show you this basically, typically in a month, you're going to have somewhere between 3 and 6 games for any team, depending on whether they've got European fixtures or just league fixtures and what kind of team they are. Now, this table basically shows that what price a player is and how many goals per game they would have to average to just cover the commission that you would have if you were trying to turn these players over within a month to keep cycling through these players. And what you can see is that basically, unless you're below £2 realistically and got a decent number of games that month, there's just no way that the number of goals you're going to be likely to score in that given month is going to come anywhere near to covering the commission. So it's not really going to generate this turnover because people just will lose interest because they're not going to buy it because they'll realise that there's no value to be had. If we extend this to a year, you can see that actually it's far closer to where our current balance is of what our player price is versus the sort of commission that would cost. So, if you've got a Hazard around the £15 mark and you're paying 1p a goal, well, he's going to have to score 30 goals in a season to offset that 30p in commission he's going to be paid. That feels about right. You've got, your Neymar's up there as well, who's going to be banging in a large number of goals. And then as you come down, there's more value and more interest in those lower prices as you get to a lower goal threshold, and that will sort of drive up some value in the lower end of the market. So that's basically my thoughts, guys. I'd just love to hear what everyone in the community and at Football Index thinks of this, and if there are any sort of plans at Football Index to review this post the trial and look to make some amendments proposed by the community or proposed by Football Index. So let me know your thoughts, guys. Thanks very much.